What's going on, guys? We are live. This is a GearCandy Hang and Chill, for lack of a better title. That's probably what I'm going to call it for now. If you guys come up with a better idea, let me know. I'm still open to different titles for the show, but we're going to call it the Hang and Chill because we're just going to hang and chill. We have a lot of different things that I want to cover. This live stream, it's been a long time coming, guys. I actually didn't know how much was involved with live streaming, and the way I wanted to do it was a lot more than it took a lot more than what I was planning. So we're live. It's actually running. I see everything's looking good. We're good. So yeah, this is gonna be one of those kind of multifaceted shows. We're gonna have tons of stuff kind of juggling at the same time. If you guys haven't noticed, we've got 3D printing going on right over here. If you guys can guess what we're printing, put it in the comments. Let me know. It's probably about 2 hours in on this print, and it's got a lot more to go. So let me know what you guys think, what that thing is printing right now. We've got some some Horizon Zero Dawn for the PS4 going on. I'm going to be cutting into that stream in and out. I've got my son playing that right now. And man, it's a great game. I'm telling you, for the PS4 right now, that's probably one of the best games you can get in terms of exclusives. And graphically, it's probably one of the best games I've played to this date. We also have got there's some tech chat I want to go over with you guys for the week. Some of the things that have been announced for this week. We've got some, of course, 3D printing, and we'll see if we may get into some music production depending how well we're doing on timing. I've got a few tracks that I just started that I want to sort of share with you guys, and we'll see where this thing goes. So let's see who's in here right now. All right, we've got 3 guys in the chat. What's going on, Texas Tots? I read. Let's see here. Let's cut into. We're actually in the middle of, I think, a boss battle right now on Horizon Zero Dawn. We'll cut into that real quick. I said this game's awesome, guys. If you have a PS4, highly recommend it. You can actually pick the game up used right now for about $40 in GameStop. And it's all about like mechs and stuff. There's no, like, every single animal is like a robot or something like that. And you're this weird chick with like cornrows, long cornrows. So just blasted the stream to Instagram, so hopefully we get some more folks in here. But for whoever is in here, hey, thanks for joining the stream, guys. Wait for a few more folks to chime in and get this thing going. All right, so let's jump in. Let's jump into some tech talk here. Well, it's going to be like tech and gaming at the same time. So first we've got Battlefront 2. So I've got Battlefront here somewhere. Star Wars Battlefront. Hold on a second. Whoa. So Battlefront 2, the immediate announcement, Star Wars Battlefront 2. If you haven't played Battlefront 1, you're missing a really great game, especially if you're a Star Wars fan. Battlefront 2 is going to take that game to the next level. I think it's going to be a whole lot better than Battlefront 1. I keep saying Battlefield because it's actually based off the Battlefield engine. So that's one of the reasons why the game is so freaking good. So a couple of highlights for Battlefront 2. We've got the Force Awakens characters. So you've got Rey's going to be in there. Kylo Ren's going to be in there, which is that should be interesting. Darth Maul's supposed to be in there. Those are probably the 3 that at least I made note of. So there's going to be a lot more heroes to play with. Luke Skywalker is still in it, so that's pretty dope. One of the really cool features they're going to add is droids. You can now play as droids in the multiplayer battles. That's going to add an interesting wrinkle into the game. I'm not sure how as far as health goes, usually droids, you get hit once, you're dead, you explode. So that'll be interesting. 40 player battles. So again, using that Battlefield engine 40 players on a map. They'll probably have up to 60, kind of like what Battlefield had. The planet Camino will be playable, which that's gonna be really interesting because the whole freaking planet is water based. It's like a water based planet. So I'm guessing there's gonna be boats involved. There's gonna be those like spherish bases involved where you can jump from maybe, I don't know, base to base. It's gonna be real interesting to see how they implement the Camino map. At least I'm interested in seeing it. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, Uncharted 4 is another game I actually want to pick up. Their Vert Sabre. And so yeah, the Battlefront 2 is going to be released on November 17th. So I'm definitely going to pre-order it. Like I said, I had the first one and I thought it was great. It was probably one of the best Star Wars games ever made, in my opinion. Graphically, it's crazy accurate. The weapons are all there from all the Star Wars franchise, all the Star Wars movies. Playing as a hero is super badass. Playing with Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker. I mean, they're almost all the characters are there. Han Solo. I'm not sure if you can play with Chewbacca. I forgot whether you can play with Chewbacca or not. But anyhow, Star Wars Battlefront 2, guys. That's going to be coming out November 17th. I think it's definitely going to be one to pick up. I'm not sure if you can even pre-order that thing yet, but it's going to be a good game, guys, for sure. All right, let's cut back to the game here to see where we are. Apparently this boss is really difficult to beat. He's been at it for a while now. An interesting storyline. Well, he's dead. Yeah. All right, so again, going back to Battlefront. Let's see what else I got here. Oh yeah, Microsoft. So let's talk some Microsoft. Microsoft, where you at? Okay, so if you guys haven't heard about this in the news, so traditionally Microsoft's been making Surface tablets the last few years. They actually came out with quite a few of them. I thought they were actually releasing them faster than they should have been, because as soon as you bought a Surface, like 6 months later, a new Surface would be released, which kind of made your old Surface, old hardware, all of a sudden. They were releasing them way too quick, I think. I think they're up to the Surface 4 already. But anyway, in an interesting turn, it looks like now they're going to be offering Surface laptops. Go back to the picture here. So the Surface laptop, that's an interesting concept, because I thought they were actually trying to go away from the laptop. You know, tablets being so, I don't know, portable, just kind of in. Everybody's getting a tablet these days. I barely use a laptop myself. I tend to use a tablet, and now I'm starting to phase away from tablets because these smartphones are getting so damn big that I'd rather do most of my media consumption on a smartphone. This is a 6.2 inch screen, so it's plenty big to consume media. So and the resolution's higher. So I really haven't even been using tablets as much. Laptops still have their place, I think, for desktop applications and that kind of stuff. But it's interesting to see that Microsoft is headed in this direction. Now, some of the things that I thought were cool was this material. If you look at that material there on the palm rest, that's actually Alcantara. I don't know if you guys know what Alcantara is. Alcantara is like this Italian cloth / suede material. It's what they use on like the Ferrari steering wheels. I actually have it on my ATS-V on the steering wheel, and on Porsches too. A lot of race cars have them. It's got this like suede / cloth material that kind of soaks up all the oils and sweat on your hands. It keeps your hands nice and dry, so when you're gripping that steering wheel, you don't slip. So it looks like they're using that on the laptop, the keyboard part of the laptop, which I thought was interesting. Two things that may happen there. It's either going to stay really nice or it's going to get really nasty. I can tell you from my experience so far with Alcantara, it's not bad. I haven't had any discoloration, but I don't have such a light color of Alcantara. If you look at the left laptop, that thing is super light. I can see that getting dirty and stained and just I don't know how well that's gonna hold up. Maybe the darker gray is a better option, but that I have a much darker gray on my steering wheel. So far, no discoloration. It hasn't gotten nasty, matted up, or anything like that. It's still super soft, and it looks really nice. So I think that's for me, that's one of the standout features. Another standout feature is there's no speakers. If you look at that thing, there's absolutely no speakers on that laptop, which is interesting design. A laptop, basically what it is they've got the speakers under the keyboard. So with the speakers being under the keyboard, not only do you get more sound because it's actually coming from the keys and it's coming through that Alcantara. So you're getting sound. Instead of getting sound through the little tiny speaker grills, you're getting sound through like basically the whole laptop. So it's supposed to be a little bit more immersive or whatever, but interesting concept. I like the way that they hid the speaker grills. I mean, it looks like it doesn't even have speakers on them. So that's kind of dope. I like that. And it's, the screen's touch screen, just like the Surface. It's supposed to be high resolution as well. Let's see if we can see some specs on this thing. I know I had a screen up here somewhere. Okay, here we go. So this is Best Buy's pre-order screen. And so you can order it. They're 13.5 inch size, which is a decent size for a laptop. Nice and portable. Here's like one of the negatives. $1,000 start point. That's one of the reasons why I never bought a Surface to begin with. The Surfaces were always, to me, way overpriced. iPad is like the leading tablet, and you can get one for, I don't know, $600, maybe cheaper than that. And Microsoft's asking a lot as far as their prices, man. $1,000 entry point for this laptop. You're competing with a lot of laptops there, so I don't know how much adaptability they're gonna get on this thing, but anyhow, $1,000 up to what? $1,300? Nope, $1,600, $2,200. So the most expensive Surface laptop is $2,200. What does this thing have? It's got a Core i7, so that's nice. At least you get a Core i7 in there. What else? 16 gigabytes of memory, 512 gig solid state. I'm still not seeing a $2,200 price point though. That's insane. You can get a nice gaming laptop for that much. What I would say is, okay, well, at $1,000, that's probably the price I would look at. 4 gig of memory, Core i5, 128. See, 128 gigabytes of solid state is not going to be enough. The operating system alone is probably going to take like 30 gigs of that storage. So you're down to 100 gigs. Well, the other standout feature, not really standout, but I don't know if this is a plus or minus, but it looks like they're going to have Windows 10 S on this Surface, which is basically it's a Windows 10 operating system, but you can only install applications from the App Store, from Microsoft's App Store. Now, to me, that's both good and bad. It's good in a way that at least the software that you're installing is controlled. More than likely, it's going to be optimized for the Surface, but limiting it down to the App Store, you're going to have to pay for all your applications. What if the application you want is not in the App Store? I don't know how I feel about that. I'm not crazy about Control, although I do have a whole lot of Apple products, so maybe I am used to Control. But I don't know, man. Windows 10 S, you can only install stuff from the App Store. That's pretty limiting to me. So it's expensive. It's limited in terms of what you can install. So I don't know. We'll see. It looks like a really sexy laptop. Let's go back to that picture here. It looks like a sexy laptop. That's a nice design. I like the mouse. I like that Alcantara. I'm sure it's nice and soft and supple or whatever. The Surfaces themselves, they were always nice. So I would imagine that this is right along that design scheme. It's got aluminum on the complete outside of the laptop. And it's 13.5. It can't be that heavy. I would imagine it's not that heavy. Let's see if they actually put the specs in here in terms of weight. I don't think they did. That's another thing. 14 and a half hours of battery life. So that's good. If you travel a lot, this may be a good option for you. 14 and a half hours battery life. That's more than a tablet. So for me, one of the big standout features of tablets is the battery. and not having to boot up, operating system and wait there like a whole minute or whatever. It's just real convenient. Open it up, it's ready to go. I don't know if this thing's gonna be like that. Probably if you put it in sleep and you just wake it up every time, that could be pretty convenient. But I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. If this is something you guys would look into, I can definitely see it in a corporate environment. I'm seeing a whole lot of Surfaces and Surface Pros starting to pop up in the corporate world. So I wouldn't be too surprised if we start seeing Surface laptops in the corporate world, because at the end of the day, they are actually really good machines. They're really good machines, and they're sexy. There's who doesn't want to use a nice piece of sexy hardware. All right, so what else we got? Actually, let's go see what we're on the game stream. Still fighting this boss here, I see. Ducking for cover. Funny thing is, we're fighting a huge mech boss with like bow and arrows. Pretty sad, actually. Yeah, it is. So you have a gun? We use the gun. All right, he's dead again. So yeah, Surface, hit or miss. Let me know what you guys think. I don't know. I think it might be a miss, man. I think it might be a miss. So what else we got? We got an announcement from Nintendo. Nintendo seems to be making moves these days. First, we got the Switch, which is a hit. You can barely find the Switch anywhere. And now we've got some new. We've got a new announcement from Nintendo. 2DS XL. This is great. 2DS XL. What's a 2DS XL? It's a 3DS without the 3D. And you know what? Nobody cares about 3D anymore anyway, so that's great. That's wonderful. 2DS XL, same processor as a 3DS. Again, no 3D capability, which is fine. They repositioned the camera. It's thinner. It's lighter. I actually thought because of the Nintendo Switch being a portable gaming platform that the 3DS and the DS Lite, just portable, the whole portable platform was going to go away. But one, Nintendo's releasing a new one, the 2DS XL, and they've released an article saying that they're actually backing this platform. This is they're kind of touting it as an even more portable platform. Excuse me. So yeah, this thing's not going away anytime soon. If you get a Nintendo Switch right now, it's a great platform. I have it. It's a great device, but there's only so many games out for it. If you get a 2DS XL, there's hundreds of games for it, if not thousands of games for it. So there's a huge game catalog behind this thing. The graphics are better now than they were before. It's still not going to be like a Nintendo Switch, but I think it's a pretty cool device. And it's also $149. So for the price, it's thinner, lighter. It's basically a 3DS. It's got the same form factor, same size screen. And yeah, I think that's going to be another huge win for Nintendo. They're definitely making things happen in the gaming world. There's we're waiting on Sony and Microsoft to drop their consoles this year, but Nintendo just seems to be making things happen left and right. I think this month we're looking at ARMS for Nintendo Switch. I just picked up Mario 8. Only reason why I haven't done Let's Plays on those is Nintendo's kind of finicky when it comes to copyright. I had that Zelda Let's Play not that long ago. What's going on, Tectonic? So yeah, I did the live stream on that Zelda game not that long ago, and I got like this copyright flag now. It wasn't a hit against the channel, but I'm not trying to get any copyright flags because 3 strikes and you're out. That's sort of the rule with copyright strikes. So you know, even though it said like this won't be held against your channel, I'm like, do I even want to take the chance? So it seems like Nintendo's real finicky about their content online. I think they're a little bit more lenient on like Twitch or maybe Facebook or something like that. So maybe I'll start streaming over on those platforms. But I got that alert and I was like, you know what? I'm not even gonna bother. I've got enough games on Xbox and PS4 to stream, and it's just kind of a shame because I would like to stream Mario Kart 8. Even on this stream right now, I would like to stream it, but again, I'm not gonna take that chance. So I'll do a little bit more research on it just to make absolutely sure I'm not gonna, you know, get screwed or whatever. But like I said, if it wasn't for that, I'd be doing it right now. Recep Korkin. Yeah. You're out, buddy. Okay, so yeah, the 2DS, man, I think it's a cool form factor, man. It's like, that's the other thing about the 3DS. It was really thick. I've got one around here somewhere, but anyways, it'll be nice to have a thinner 3DS. Makes it even more portable. I'm not sure about battery life. They didn't really mention anything about that. The 3DS battery life is not bad, so having a 2DS that's basically a 3DS that's even thinner, lighter, cheaper, $150. You ain't gonna beat that price. That's a pretty good deal, man. That's a pretty good deal. All right, so let's cut back to the game stream real quick. Let's see what's going on here. Interesting concept for a game. There's a lot of technology in this game, but you don't have that. You have some of that technology, but again, you're shooting bow and arrows as one of your main weapons, which is kind of crazy. You got this focus thing where you can kind of use it to interact with other machines and scan the environments and things like that. That's a really interesting idea for a game. And look at the size of this boss, like a huge mech, and you're throwing bow and arrow at this thing. That's the focus right there. You see that little glowing thing on the side of your head. I hope the audio is coming out good, guys. Tested as much as I could prior to going live, and everything sounded good to me. Got rockets? That's insane. Is that a gun? Well, use the gun. So anyhow, guys, we're 3D printing right over here. Let me know in the comments what you guys think we're printing. Some of you guys already know. If you already know, don't blow it up. But with this printer, man, it's $200. So $200. You know, that's a much easier price point. You know, it's $200. It's not the cheapest thing in the world. In the 3D space, 3D printing space is very cheap. So for $300, you can't go wrong. You know, there's really no other printer I would recommend at that price point. So if you're curious about it for $200, this is the printer to get, and I think that's why it's sold out like everywhere. Because I'm sure a lot of people are curious. I mean, who wouldn't want to make these cool little models and stuff? But at $3,000-$4,000 for a printer, $2,000, $3,000, you know, that's a lot of money to ask. So, you know, $200, good printer to start out with. More than likely, if you really like it, you're gonna want a much bigger one. Now, the good news is Monoprice does have cheaper printers that are bigger, but if you're gonna go $600-$700, just look at the Prusa, because the Prusa's $700 if you assemble it yourself, which I hear is not the hardest thing. It just takes time. or $900 if you get it assembled. So that's too close to the Prusa, and the Prusa being kind of like the holy grail of 3D printing right now. I would just go for the Prusa. But if you're looking for about $300 to $400, Monoprice does have a Prusa style kind of knockoff design one that I'm sure is, plenty good. You're not going to have the multiple filament option, but it's still going to do pretty good prints. So take a look at that one if you're looking at getting something a little bit nicer than this one right here. But if you're just looking to get into it, just to try it out, see what it's like, buy this thing on Amazon. And you know what? If you don't like it, you could always send it back or try to sell it online somewhere because they're so hard to get. You could probably make a buck on it or so. Put it up for $300. I'm sure somebody will buy it. All right, so let's go back to the game stream. Try going from up top. Oh, dead again. Every time I cut to it, he dies. So yeah, once again, let me know in the comments, guys, what you think this thing's printing. Let's talk some phones. We've got a phone. I know we've got some sort of phone announcement here. Let's see. Ah, yes. So, let's talk BlackBerry, guys. BlackBerry is an interesting company. Almost like a Nokia. So, BlackBerry recently announced this Key 1. They're calling it the Key 1. BlackBerry, they're struggling. BlackBerry was such a great company at one point in its life. Not at one point. I mean, it was a great company for a while. And the iPhone came out. BlackBerry was probably at the height of its time. Everybody had a BlackBerry. All of enterprise had BlackBerries. BlackBerry was the go-to device for an enterprise platform for emailing and all that. And iPhone came out, second generation iPhone came out, third, fourth, fifth, Android stepped on the scene. These guys didn't do anything. They just sat around thinking that, BlackBerry was here to stay. They were always going to have business. And you know what? That's not the case. If you don't continue to innovate, especially in the tech industry, you're going to fall behind. That's what's going to happen. So for me, it's like too little, too late. The Key 1 is, if you're a keyboard person, the Key 1 is probably one of the only phones these days that you can buy. What's going on, Aiden? It's probably one of the only phones you can buy right now is going to be the Key 1 with a keyboard that has a decent sized screen. Just from the icons, I can tell it's running Android. So they finally conceded to putting Android in their devices. This is not the first Android device coming out of BlackBerry, but it's maybe it's the last. I don't know. But if you're a keyboard person, this is probably your best option. This is probably your only option. But again, it's like too little, too late. Make a decent phone. You don't have to have that keyboard in there. In fact, and they've tried making phones without the keyboard too, and that was like a flop. Like they didn't put enough horsepower into it. It was super laggy. It was just horrible. But I don't understand. Perhaps they're just running out of money. There's not enough money being pumped into their Q&A department, into their engineering teams. I think they have the capability of making a much better phone than this, but this is what they're releasing. It's super thick, which is terrible. Nobody wants a super thick phone. I think that's what killed Nokia when they were releasing the Windows phones. They made these like huge giant phones, which is fine. I mean the S8's not a small device, but they made them super thick. So not only is it big, but it's super thick. Who the hell wants to, rock a super thick phone? It's got a keyboard in it. Who the hell uses a keyboard anymore? The nice thing is you can glide your fingers across that keyboard, and they'll serve as a scroll, an up and down scroll. So that's cool. At least you can use it for more than just a keyboard. The good thing is it's got the same sensor as the Pixel as far as the camera is concerned. So you should have really good pictures coming out of this thing. So that's nice. Put something in there that's worth, looking at looking at this thing for. So Pixel camera. As far as the specs in the device, I don't really have that. Of course, I didn't get a review unit, nor do I want one. The screen is smaller because of that keyboard. You're eating up a good 2 inches on the screen for that keyboard. I think that's a huge fail because you could use that space not only for a keyboard but for other things. So you probably have like a 4-inch, maybe 3-inch, 3.5-inch screen on there. That's just not the way the trend is going as far as phones are concerned. Why are you releasing a phone with such a small screen? So I put it on here. It was announced today, but I don't know that. I don't know. I guess you got to be a diehard. Here's another picture of it. You've got to be a diehard BlackBerry fan to buy this thing. If you've rocked the BlackBerry throughout all of these changes, all of these new phones coming out, more power to you for sticking with the brand, being a loyal customer. Good job. But hey, you've got a nice little option here. If you're that person, if you're that small little group of people that still rock BlackBerries, this is your option. This is what you got. Best thing that's offered to you right now is this BlackBerry. So I won't be getting it. I won't be reviewing it. I just wanted to mention it here. The BlackBerry fans out there, if you're a BlackBerry person, there you go. You have an option now. So that's pretty much it. That's all I have for tech news, guys. Let's cut back to the game stream real quick. It's just loading up on weapons. We'll try to fight this boss. This boss has got to be really difficult. I've been making a lot of strides in this game. We seem to be stuck at this point. Go back to the printer. And when I first got the printer, that's another thing I failed to mention. When I first got the printer, it was giving me a lot of little issues at first. The tape that you got to put down there. At first, it came with a different kind of tape, and well, I'm not sure what it was. I think maybe that the board here wasn't balanced, so I had to balance it. That was the first thing. But I was getting a lot of misprints. I was getting a lot of these bird nest things going on, which basically means that it's either one of two things. Either the print is not sticking well when it first starts out, or the level itself, the base plate, they call this the base plate, is not level. And those, as it's printing, those levels are off of that nozzle a little too high. And the filament doesn't stick to the layer beneath it. So I was getting a lot of that. A lot of that was happening. A lot of bird nesting was happening. Misprints were happening. So there's a little bit of a learning curve with 3D printing in general, but definitely with this machine here. I think there's a lot of people that have probably bought this machine and maybe they've returned it. I was actually pretty close to doing that, but I gave it a chance. I started just kind of tweaking it, especially it comes with a software called Cura. Cura is software that you can use to look at the 3D models before you print them. And I had to tweak some of the Cura options in there just by researching what other folks have used. And I think I'm at a point now, and I'll share those settings in my review. I'm at a point now where I haven't bird nested anything. Everything that I've been printing out has been coming out pretty good. And I've been there's two ways to go to print on this thing. There's direct connected via USB cable, or you can load the G code. G code is the file that actually prints. You can load G code onto a little SD card, and you put it on the side here, on the side of the printer, and just let it print on its own. The bad thing about the USB tethered is if your machine shuts down, obviously the print turns off. And I had a print going once. I think it was a smaller version of this little shell here, a smaller version of this, and the print was going, and my machine shut off at 5 in the morning, and it just cut off the print, and it was almost done. It was like 95% done. Huge waste of filament, huge waste of time. So since that's happened, I've been using the SD card, and it's much better. This thing is now running independently of my machine, and you just leave it running. And the other nice thing is you can see the percentage that's completed right there, right over here. You can tell the amount percent complete, so you can kind of gauge how much time the print's going to need. Now, Cura also gives you a time estimation as far as how long this thing's going to take, but it's not really that accurate. So take it with a grain of salt. You probably have to add another 25% on top of that time estimation. So we're playing Horizon Zero Dawn. Let's cut back to it. He died again. Horizon Zero Dawn. It's really cool game. The graphics on it are insane. That's one of the reasons why I bought it, especially on an OLED TV. If you got an OLED TV, upscales everything to 4K. Horizon Zero Dawn is an insane looking game, man. It really is. So yeah, hey guys, if you're looking for a 3D printer, check this one out. Highly recommend it. Let's cut back to the game real quick. So looks like there's parts of that boss you're gonna have to take down. Can't take that weapons. Alright guys, we're going to end the stream right there. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We're going to have a lot more of these. We're going to have a lot more things going on the channel itself. Once again, thanks for tuning in, guys. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.